Welcome back, intrepid adventurers, to another exciting day of Avendar. Quite a bit has happened since our last adventure, and I will explain that as quickly as possible. Last weekend I didn't record, so this is actually 2 weeks since we've last met, and number 2 was, it was Thanksgiving weekend, and I injured my back to the point where I couldn't move. Essentially, this led to a week-long binge of playing nothing but Avendar for a while. It was a very easy game to play while completely unable to move, as I just sat there like, I hate my life, but at least I can type, right? Hey, so essentially Talaris is a bit like a Super Saiyan compared to the last time we played. Mostly because we've gained quite a few levels. We'll go into some of the things that have happened between now and then. We're level 23. We are 35 years old, but that was to be expected as the age has progressed, I think, 2 years since we last played. 23, I can't remember exactly what level we were last time we played. It was like around 14 or 15, so we've gained about 8 levels, and we have learned quite a few spells. Let's see here. We'll go over them in just a bit. There are a couple things I want to touch on first. Let's get our bearings. Alright, as you can see, we're in the savannah, and you can see all of these blue squares. Now that's because I did go ahead and map this out, and we'll kind of briefly go over what some of these new places are, but the only reason I did this is because the savannah was a place we'd already been to, and it was fairly fully fledged in this particular location already. For the most part, all of the other locations have been not explored further than we've already done together. Now, the reason that these squares are blue is not because I was trying to be clever and saying like, oh look, here's the new areas. It's because I updated the Mudlet client to the new mapping, well, just the new client in general, and for some bizarre reason, it decided to change the default color to blue of the rooms. So suddenly every single room was blue, and it made the map look terrible because we'd chosen our color palette based on the fact that all the rooms were default red. So I had to go back in, change everything back to red, and it was a big pain, and you can see here some rooms are still going to be in the default blue because I just didn't find them or wasn't able to fix them. So that was sort of step number 1. Step number 2 was I did come in here and try to clean up as many of the maps as possible. You see here we've fully mapped out the plains up here, we've scrunched, this is what, Irindom, scrunched Irindom together in as compact a way as possible, and all sorts of things like that. We've broken out, let's see, the Irindom sewer into its own map. We had to redo all this because it got shifted around. We've broken out the Uthlin Ocean into its own map. Where is that? I don't see it. Oh, we have to scroll down now, right? So the Uthlin Ocean is its own place with all of its madness up here. I think if we go up, we'll see it. Oh, here it is. It got shifted over. Yeah, so the weirdness that was the airspace above the mountain. But yeah, essentially we just did a lot of busy work in between. A lot of grinding, a lot of spell learning. We didn't go into any dungeons or explore any new areas. Now let's go over our spells, because this is probably the most exciting part of what we've gained in between. I believe we left off just having learned Smoke? So that is level 15, so we must have quit around level 15. Smoke, I'm going to be honest, I have had a lot of trouble finding it to be useful. Essentially what happens is you drop down a cloud in your current location, which deals damage to everything. And then the longer things stay in that location, they have a chance gets rolled to see if they get blinded over and over again. Now, it's AoE, so if you run into a lot of weak enemies, you can AoE them and just kill them all. Problem is, how many times do we run into a lot of weak enemies? Almost never. So that's kind of out. The other problem is Smoke also blinds you. Now I'm going to show you a skill we have here called Firekin. Now, Firekin here is supposed to give us the ability to resist fire magics, including smoke. So I would assume that increases our chance to resist the blind, but in my experience, it's not very reliable. So smoke is a good spell to throw down if you want to kill yourself, because what happens is you become blind and then you have no idea where you are, and usually you upset everything in the room that you cast it in, and they all come over and murder you while you can't see them. Yeah, just not very useful. Alright, let's see what other spells we got. So we did get... We decided not to take Evoke Hatred, of course that was purposeful. Deny Entropy still hasn't really had a use. I don't know why we have it, but perhaps it'll be more useful later. Lambent Aura is an interesting one, and an expensive one at that, at 70 mana. The idea behind Lambent Aura is it's supposed to surround you with flames that prevent you from getting stunned or lagged, if we're using the Avendar technical term. Lagging, of course, is when you are unable to enter in inputs, or rather you can enter them in, but your character won't react to them. They're stunned. There's a moment of time where they can't do anything. This also is supposed to burn long-range attacks, things like darts and arrows. Let's get an accurate description here by typing help lambent. Yes, you see here, protecting the caster from any dart thrown at it. So it just says darts, and I don't know if that means literally darts, or if that also applies to things like arrows or quarrels or bolts, I should say. Things like that, stones thrown. I don't know. There aren't any enemies that we've encountered that throw things at us, so we just really haven't had a good reason to use that. Technically, I think some of the animals in the savannah inflict stun, like the gazelle sometimes does it, but it's so unnoticeable, and Lambent just costs too much to constantly put up. I think level divided by 18 hours means literally it's only up for like 1 point something odd hours, because our level is 23, so let's do 23 divided by 18. It's only up for 1.2 hours. If I'm reading that correctly. I'm still a little confused as to if that's what that means, level divided by 18. Regardless, it's just not... It's not a spell we've ever needed at this point, so that was not a very exciting one. Now we also gained Shield, which has become pretty much a staple in our rotation. Same reason that armor is a staple in our rotation. It's a little bit disappointing because shield and armor do the exact same thing. I don't think there's any interesting flavor text around shield. Yeah, just slight bonus to armor class, and then help armor, I think, reads pretty much the same thing. Slight bonus to armor class. They're both just armor spells. And when you stack them, it is nice. Like, let's just take a look at our score here. Got negative 28. We'll go into why that is the case in a moment. We changed our equipment. But yeah, we have negative 28, 9, and 23. So we'll go ahead and cast shield and cast armor. And then take a look at our score. So 28, 9, and whatever we had becomes 90, 71, and 85. Pretty good. Pretty good. A lot better than, you know, we have just walking around unarmored. But as far as a unique spell, it is not. It's just another armor spell. It's fine, we'll take it. But not much interaction, I suppose, is how I would put that. Now, here's a really interesting one called Jaziji's Fade. Now, this one is super cool. I don't think it's very... how to put it? I don't think it's very practical in the sense that we're not going to be using this spell on a daily basis. It's going to be very, very situational. In fact, in between the time that we've played, I don't remember how many hours we had in the last episode, but you can see here I have 107 hours. So we put quite a few more hours into the game. And in between that time, from the last episode and this one, I've only usefully used this spell once. And that was, there was somebody playing as a Siren in Var Bandor who was just murdering everyone. Like, everyone. They were murdering merchants, They were murdering, like, townspeople. It was just like... And they also had stuck around in this one spot in town for a really long time. I was super confused. And, I rationalized that Talaris would be afraid of this person. So we encountered them in the forest of Nendor, actually. And what I did is use Jaziji's flame in this situation. Now, I know we need to understand what Jaziji's flame does in order to understand why that was relevant. What it does is it allows you to enter any fire, any unit of light, anything that produces light through a fire, you can enter it as if it was an area. And while you're in that area, your mana drains down. Not at a terribly fast rate, but at a decent rate. And essentially just means that people can't follow you. So what I ended up doing is I ran away in the forest, cast Warmth, and here, we'll just do this. Cast Warmth, because this creates a fire, and if you look in the area after casting Warmth, it specifically says, glowing, a fiery arcane sign is here, and then you just cast oh my gosh, I can't even remember how to spell it. Jaziji, and here we go. Now we are in the flame. Now I know if we look, we'll see the area that we're in. It's because they didn't, create a new area for this, but you can't see us right now, essentially. If you were, unless, I don't know, I suppose there might be some kind of scrying spell out there that allows you to see things. Oh, I see, we left the flame, never mind, sorry. So if you take any action, you leave the flame. I think that's what happened. So we can't actually witness ourselves in the flame, because the moment we try and look around, we leave. But if we're to trust the spell description, that's what happens. It says... yeah, you see there our mana is draining, so we'll take an action to leave the fire. Let's see here. It's so temperamental on how you get... how you actually get the Jazijis. Let's try help Jaziji's flame. Maybe this will work. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Maybe I have to capitalize it. Jaziji apostrophe S. Although perhaps the apostrophe is causing problems. Wow. Jaziji's flame. I know I got help on this once because it's how I figured out what it does. Jaziji's flame. Maybe I have to do it without the... Well, anyway, I don't know how I did it, but at some point I got the help file up and... Oh, fade! Fade! It's fade, not flame. Help fade. Okay, let's try this one more time. Jaziji's fade. There we go. Okay. But you see here we're emulating the trickster scholar Jaziji, and we fade into the air above any source of flame. Doing so will continually drain mana. But we are concealed while doing so. Which I think is pretty cool. And if there was a naturally occurring flame, it would be even less obvious that the fire wizard had done so. Sorry, fire scholar had done so. Okay, so again, not a terribly useful one on a daily basis, but a very, very neat trick. Then we have Rune of Fire. This is where we started getting the good stuff, in my opinion. Rune of Fire, pretty cool. Pretty awesome. You don't get to use this every turn in combat. It costs a lot of mana here at 65 mana, so as much as nearly Lambent Aura. The difference is, Rune of Fire lets you trap things before combat ever begins. it's such a neat concept. I really like it. It's certainly, I think, it's not a spell that makes the biggest difference in our kit mechanically, but I think it might be my favorite spell mechanically, conceptually, that we've encountered so far. What it is you trace a rune of fire on something, and then depending on what you trace this rune on, it will interact with that object differently. Now, if you trace it probably more naturally, we're going to be using the function where we trace it on our weapons. So we can trace this rune of fire on our dagger, and the next time we successfully strike someone with it, the dagger explodes, dealing extra damage. It's pretty neat. However, you can also cast it on objects in the environment, such as a door. So if someone was going to go open the door would explode. You can cast it on items on the ground, and when someone picks them up or tries to use them, they explode. It's such a neat idea, and there are no holds barred, as far as I can understand, in using it in the game. It's not like you try and cast it on something, it's like, oh, you can't cast it on that, or oh, you can't cast it on that door because someone might walk through it. No, as far as I understand, if you wanted to be a total jerk and just drop like a really valuable item on the ground and then cast the rune on it and wait for someone to come over and pick it up, they'd blow up. That's hilarious. I love that. You can cast it on doors, cast it on, yeah, just anything. Now, admittedly, we typically only cast this on our dagger. It's the most straightforward way of using it, and it essentially gives us a little bonus damage up front before the fight begins. Still pretty cool. Not as exciting as the other utilitarian uses, but yeah, I think it's a really neat spell. Okay. After Rune of Fire comes Frenzy. Now here's one we haven't been using. It's not that we couldn't use it. I think it's that if you... Hold on. Let me think of how to say this. I think the way to put it is, we probably are not playing your typical Fire Mage. I think perhaps Fire Scholars are supposed to be played in a very almost Dark Souls-esque manner. If you've ever played Dark Souls, there are these swamp people who, I can't remember their name. It's one of the made-up races that you can select as one of the default characters, and they're from this swamp where the swamp birthed the magic of fire, well, pyromancy. And their class, if you choose them as the default template, starts out with an axe and some rags and then the fire hand. And they're a very offensive fire mage. They don't sit back and shoot things. They're not scholars. They they don't use... Wow, it's been a while. I can't remember what the normal magic is called in Fire or Dark Souls, but they're the ones who are up in people's faces swinging this axe while they also light you on fire. I think that's probably how we were supposed to play the Fire Mage, or perhaps one method of playing the Fire Mage. I suppose the way we're playing Talaris isn't necessarily wrong, but mechanically it's probably not the most effective. Now, to get into why this relates to Frenzy, it's because Frenzy kind of makes you go berserk. Similar to its cousin Zeal, and I don't know what Zeal is, it's probably a different class spell. It imbues the target with a rage, granting a bonus to hit roll and damage roll. However, you receive a penalty to armor class, which for us seems like a good way to... seems like a good way to die. Now, that's pretty much it, other than this last clause here. The user is unable to retreat from battle. That's not good for us. If we're casting this, we're probably only using it against things that are very weak, things we know we can kill. And if we know we can kill them, we don't need the bonus from Frenzy, as odd as that sounds. We also don't want to lower our armor class. Our armor class is already pretty bad. And I know I keep saying we'll get into it, but I've discovered that boosting your armor even just by a little bit over time, building up your pieces of the gear that you're wearing, really helps keep you alive while you're playing the game. And so the idea of losing that armor that I've spent so much time desperately hodgepodging pieces of gear together to upgrade does not sound like a good idea to me. Also, the inability to run away from combat. Now, we went to the north. Where are we? It was north of the Aryan Plains, I believe. So that would be here. Yeah, that's not the same place. Where does this lead? Oh, the Brintors, right. So we went up here into the Brintors where we found some ice schools. Now, I did come back here and do a quest for some wizard in Varbandor who wanted us to get ice school brains. Those ice schools are terrifying, and I learned how to implement a hit-and-run tactic, because I realized we never really take advantage of the fact that immolation deals damage over time. And also, eventually, if we get high enough level, it'll make healing harder for whichever target is affected by it. We've kind of just been using it as a DPS spell, which is not that great, because it's probably more just meant to be a DOT spell, which is damage over time. And, yeah, so anyway, we ran into these ice schools, which were ridiculously too powerful for us to fight. I would cast Immolation, get into a fight with them a little bit, and then run away, and let the damage over time hurt them while I found a corner of the map to go heal, while casting Burnout and sleeping and doing things like that. Now, if we cast Frenzy, we're unable to do that tactic. Now, sometimes I suppose we may know the statistics of whatever monster we're fighting, and we may want to use Frenzy to allow us to get that edge to make killing them easier, and I suppose that's a possibility. If we already know we're going to win, then I guess casting Frenzy's okay, but realistically, if we're going into new areas or we're fighting monsters that we're unfamiliar with, Frenzy's probably a bad deal. Especially just losing that armor. That feels bad. Okay, Beam of Fire is definitely the Super Saiyan spell we got, though. Beam of Fire is just Immolate, only it deals way more damage. Way more consistently deals way more damage. That's all it does. I don't have another way to describe it. We can look at the description, but there's nothing really in here. Just unleashes a concentrated beam of fire, dealing damage. Short, simple. It replaces Immolation. So, interestingly, we used to go into a fight and just Immolate. Now we go into a fight and cast Immolate once to light them on fire, and then just use Beam of Fire over and over again. Beam of Fire costs 5 more mana, but the damage it does is just way higher, so there's no real reason to use Immolate at all after that, which is fine. I'm happy we finally got another, after 21 levels, got another offensive spell that we can use. On a regular basis, I should say. Okay, Baptism of Fire is not something I see us really ever using. It's a status spell that removes status effects and hurts the caster when it happens. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it burns out petrification, poison, plague, things like that. It deals damage to the caster. So I suppose if we ever get I'm just trying to think here. If we ever get poisoned or petrified, or if we get disease and we can't figure out how to remove it, we need to remember we can cast Baptism of Fire. And then there's this weird footnote says, when used by a fire mage under Martyr's Fire, this will heal them. A water mage under Martyr's Fire, this will heal them. It seems like such a weird clause. I suppose maybe it makes more sense if you play as a water mage, but yeah, never actually used that spell. There's also this one called Corona, which I don't see us using a whole lot. Corona reveals invisible targets, but oh, am I spelling it wrong? So it illuminates, and this is a real word, I had to look this up, this is not a typo. It illuminates the caster with a bright light, causing them to shed vivid light. This will end hide, camouflage, shadow mastery, etc., etc., but it does not dispel invisibility. So, yeah, I don't know. We've got detect invisibility here. We can just cast that like that. And, yeah, that... I don't know if... I would assume if they're in the shadows, would that let us see them when they're invisible? Maybe not. And so maybe Corona is supposed to be the upgrade of detect invisibility? Like, detect invisibility will detect them if they're invisible but not hiding in the shadows, whereas Corona will let us see them even if they're hiding in the shadows. I'm not really sure how it works. I haven't had a need or a desire to cast this, especially at the cost. At 90 mana, it seems like a good way to throw away your MP. And I think that's it. As far as new magics go, let's see if we missed one. Yeah, we're going to learn Locate Object at 24 and Word of Recall. Locate Object just lets you find things in the world. It's a pretty neat idea. I'm excited to see how that works. And Word of Recall, the reason we learn this is because at level 25, we lose our ability to just type in Recall and come back to the altar. So we'll have to use Word of Recall, which I think is the exact same thing, it just takes a little bit of time to cast. And they probably did that so that in PvP scenarios, people couldn't run away and then immediately zip around or something, I'm not sure. Although the adrenaline prevents you from doing that, so I don't really know why they made this change. Perhaps we'll understand when we get to level 25. Whew. Okay, so that's it for spells. Let's take a look at the skills. I did boost us in Firekin once I realized that that would allow us to resist smoke. Not that it did us much good. I did go ahead and just spend a practice on learning to use scrolls, not that we've ever found any. Meditation, we already know, increases our MP. I put points into stave so that we can use a staff if we want to. Again, haven't found one. Cunning Wisp. Now this is an interesting one that we already had. Turns us to smoke while we fight. Very useful. And here's another one. Second Attack. Does exactly what it sounds like. While you're swinging your dagger wildly, you may decide, I should swing that again. And that's all that it does. It sometimes grants us a second attack in combat. Haggle is not all either. It's another. I guess I would consider these three skills to be sleeper skills, right? Well, all of these actually are sleeper skills. They're things you don't need to think about, but you can be aware of. You don't need to actually use second attack, it just happens. Haggle sometimes gets you a better price when you're selling things. You don't have to think about it, it just happens. Trance is just another version of meditation. It's the exact same effect, gets you MP back faster. So we have two skills that gets us MP back faster. Hey, I'll take it. Plus, every time it says we get better at trance and it increases our skill percentage, I can't help but think that the game is telling us that we're better at trance music, and it makes me laugh every time. On the next level, we'll get fast healing, which does exactly what it sounds like it. You regain your HP faster. So that's it for skills. It's pretty simple. Up and coming interesting things to note is we're at 91% on concentration, dagger at 87. Meditation is also pretty high, so. Whew. Alright, last statistic we need to go over is our base core stats. So while playing over Thanksgiving, I found that we were just dying a lot. I've probably died about 20 times in addition to last we met. And I looked at our practices and I said, or trains, we had like 7 or 8 trains, and I just said, why are we not using these? So I looked over all the statistics, I read what each of them did, and I determined that both flavor-wise as well as mechanically speaking, it would make the most sense to pump up our constitution. Strength doesn't really do us a lot of good. Dex could do us some good, but we already had 18. Wisdom doesn't do us a whole lot of good right this second because it increases your save against spells, and we haven't found anyone who casts spells. Not that we won't, I'm sure we will, but Talaris doesn't exactly seem like a wise guy anyway. So we decided to pump up our constitution by, I think, about 6 points. And this this was before we had obtained Beam of Fire, so we were still using Immolation, and I was just thinking, I was having so much trouble killing things, not because we couldn't deal damage to them, but because we just didn't live long enough. So after putting about 6 points into Constitution, raising us up to 20, we had gained 100 HP. We went from 200 to about 300, and strange as it sounds, that made all the difference in the world. And I think it's just due to the way mechanically Talaris's toolkit is set up. Especially before Beam of Fire, we just have Immolate, and we're not really dealing a lot of damage with our dagger, and so the whole point is just to cast Immolate over and over again, and even that really hasn't changed. Now we just cast Beam of Fire over and over, and there's no stat we can take to increase our magic damage. There's no equipment we can wear so far that increases our magic damage, so the only way we can increase our overall damage is just staying alive longer. And I figured also Talaris has had a pretty rough life. He's lived out in the wilds for probably more time than he's spent in town at this point. So why not boost our Constitution? And it has made a very big difference. The game has been a lot easier after gaining a meager 100 HP, which I shouldn't even say meager. It's like 50% of 200 was 100, so it's been a pretty big difference. Other than that, we haven't really spent anything. We have 40 practices. I have no idea what we're going to spend them on. 2 trains. I've been banking those in case we end up wanting to throw those at something. I'm not really sure what we would. Okay, but I think that's finally it. I know that was a lot to go over, and I apologize if that bored you, but I felt it was important so that you understood, well, what we're doing now, how Talaris functions. You will see over here, I've added in some buttons. I went ahead and figured out how the buttons in Mudlet worked, so we can now cast a lot of these spells a lot more easily. I don't use some of these. The movement buttons I almost added in just sort of as an experiment. They are not that useful. It's just as fast to type in N or E or something like that. However, I will show you, this is typically what we do now to get ourselves all buffed up. And I will say, clicking those buttons is a lot nicer than having to type all this out. So we open up by casting Wing, we cast Armor, Shield, and Flame, we remove our dagger, we cast Rune on our dagger, we wear our dagger, and we cast Detect and Infravision just because why not? And that's sort of the rotation of our spells as we work now. Yeah, other than that, there's not a lot to go over as far as the buttons. If you see me over here clicking these, that's all I'm doing. I'm just putting our status effects on us. Aliases. Okay, so we started using a couple aliases, and this was slightly related to Kierlin. Let me make sure I've got that name right. I wrote it down over here. Yes, Kierlin. Kierlin was that guy we partied with and ran into the mines and ended up killing the miners, and we had the conflict where we were like, oh, you know, we don't want to kill humans, and then we kind of left him. He ended up finding me, or Talaris, I should say. I'm not sure how to describe it. I don't know if he was seeking us out or if he was bored. I have no idea who he was. Right? He could have been just a random person playing, could have been one of the moderators. We have no way of knowing. Could have been a she, for all I know. But the person playing as Kierlin, or I will just refer to them as Kierlin, seemed interested in teaming up. I would assume Kierlin was bored and wanted to take us to a lot of places and, you know, in character roleplayed and apologized for attacking the miners, and they were very polite. He made sure while we partied, because he found me, he went and sought me out and found me and then partied and took me to all these places, and it was nice of him, but I had no idea what we were doing, and he kept dumping gear on me, and I feel bad, but I dropped a lot of it because, for a couple reasons. One, Talaris wasn't going to use a lot of it. He gave us 2 canoes, and I was like, well, I understand that canoes are, and trust me, don't worry, this is related to aliases, we'll get there. But I was like, Talaris doesn't carry a canoe. I know mechanically speaking, it would be easier just to have a canoe because it just lets you travel through water. But I'm like, Talaris wouldn't carry a canoe. Talaris just uses his wings. So I ended up dropping the canoes. He found us a whaleskin canoe. I don't even know where we were when he got that for us. He kept giving us armor, and I ended up dropping a lot of it because it wasn't as good as perhaps some of the beekeeper stuff we had. And then I did end up keeping, he gave us, here, we'll check our gear here. I think he's the one who gave us this doublet of meshed steel and this skirt of meshed steel. So we were wearing sort of this steel armor, and that is thanks to Kierlan. Overall, though, he just moved so quickly and was zipping around and like giving me things before I could even understand what was being given to me, and maybe that was actually part of the auto loot, and that could be more of what happened. I think when you group up with someone, you can turn auto loot on where you split the gear, so maybe that's why it kept saying that Kierlan was giving us stuff. Maybe he wasn't doing it on purpose, but yeah, just overall, it was very confusing. And I think Kierlan had our best interest at heart. He wanted to level us up, but as odd as it sounds, that's not really how I wanted Talaris to explore the world. It felt cheap. It felt as if he took us to some fire pit where there were these lizards, and he was like level 36 at that point and just killing the lizards over and over again, and I was just kind of sitting there doing nothing, watching me gain EXP I wasn't working for, and I appreciate that he was wanting to adventure and trying to level us up, but it felt artificial, and so after a while I thanked him. But I've kind of been trying to avoid partying with anybody up to that point after now. Oh, Lepsis, though, might be on, and we might party with that, or I shouldn't say Lepsis, Elsendar may be on, and we may be partying with her if we run into her, but we checked and we're very close on level, so at least both of us will be clueless as we venture out into the world. So yeah, Kierlan took us to the Brintors, and we ran around all over there. There were giants that were throwing rocks at us or something. We were at some lava spring. I really don't understand where he took us because everything was flying on the screen so fast. And it was an area we didn't have mapped out. So however, role-playing wise, he was very kind to Talaris, and very much like making sure we were okay. He was checking in to make sure that we weren't going to be upset if we fought something, which leads, and I promise we'll get to aliases, don't worry, but which leads to another sort of problem. Hold on, let's see if we can get help on Fire Scholars. Yeah, okay, so I went ahead and read the help file on Fire Scholars. I realized Talaris is a very weird, how to put it, a very weird Fire Scholar. Fire Scholars are supposed to be these bloodthirsty, crazy people. You can't be lawful if you're a Fire Scholar. And eventually we're apparently going to get the choice to pick these 3 paths. The path of the Flame Heart, the path of the Undying Blaze, and the path of the Infernal Harbinger. Those sound okay, right? But let's get a little deeper into what these all do. This one pursues the power of fire devils. This one invokes ancient powers to destroy the living. And this one focused on fire to torment and incinerate their enemies. Oh, and yeah, and this one apparently seeks the seeds of the War of Fire. Apparently, Fire Scholars are just bloodthirsty, crazy people, and so Talaris is a bit weird. I will say, luckily, due to the fact that we've had this obsession with the Mad Goddess Allele that has sort of played in still to the Fire Scholar aspect, so maybe we are very timid, maybe we are very afraid, and we sort of have, I don't want to say a noble aspect, but we certainly don't. Talaris tries not to kill anything that has intelligence beyond, beyond that of an animal, unless they're evil or trying to kill him. However, his obsession with Allele, I think, still falls narrowly into the madness that is the Fire Mage, this aggression that is the Fire Scholar. So I think we're still good there, but we might need to remember that Fire Scholars have a history of being a little wild, and Talaris breaks that mold a bit, and perhaps we will need to readjust our role-playing at some point to reflect that. Okay, aliases. So, one thing I did notice from Kierlin is he was scanning everywhere to find monsters for us to fight. So I realized, well, we should start scanning. So you can do that by typing things like scan north, scan south, scan east, and that becomes a little cumbersome. One of the moderators in Discord taught me how to use aliases. What aliases are things like they're shortcuts that allow you to execute commands very quickly. You can see here I already have some set up, and very simply, if I wanted to scan, I just doubled whatever letter the direction I want to scan it. So if we want to scan north, I just do NN, or scan west, and so on and so forth. It's much faster. I also aliased J to immolation, not because that letter means anything, but because it was a very easy way to do that. I think I'm going to alias K to beam of fire. And now, when we cast K, oh, we say beam of fire, whoops. Let's try to remove. How do you do this? Is it alias remove K? Excellent. Let's try doing alias K beam of fire. And K. Not sure how to do one where it's 2 words. What if we... Alright, one more try. Alias remove K. We'll do alias K beam. You beam... Wait a minute. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Alias remove K. Okay, alias K cast beam. There we go. Okay. So now when we do K, it'll be beam. And that's just a very easy way to quickly cast beam of fire. You can only have 15 aliases. Oh shoot, one of our aliases is remove K. Wait, what? Hold on. Alias remove. Remove is now re-alias to remove. What? No! No! What have I done? Oh no. Can we not remove? Oh no. How did we do this? Well, we'll figure that out later. Apparently we've accidentally added remove to our list of aliases. How did we do that? Hold on, it has to be like around here. Remove is now re-alias to K. Alias K, beam of K is now... Alias remove K. Remove is... Yeah, I think I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. Help. Help! Help. Alias. Unalias. Oh, that's how we do it. Unalias remove. There we go. Much better. So anyway, that's a tool we'll be using quite a bit very quickly. And so if you see that happening, that's what's going on. Other than that, I don't think there's... Wow, it thinks we're in a very weird spot right now. I have been having trouble with the Savannah putting us in weird places. Oh, one last thing. I know we've been recording for, holy moly, 45 minutes. Talk about an info dump. But very last thing that we can go over is I have still nearly never found a way to make money in this game. Monsters don't drop gold in any meaningful fashion, They don't drop items we can sell, except here in the savannah. In the savannah, there's this merchant here. Now, I've tried to map all of the... Actually, I need to go here, and because this guy is a store. I've tried to color code everything in a way that makes sense. This green, of course, means a shop, and there's actually a merchant here in the corner, where if you tell him yes, he'll give you this list of things that you can give him, and what he'll do is he'll convert them into leather goods. All of these items can be found by enemies, well, animals, that are dropped in the savannah, and he makes them for you for dirt cheap. Now, we have a couple of these equipped, and we'll take a look at them here. Like this thin ring carved from bone that comes from a horse hide. We have this lion fang talisman. We did not earn those kills. We found a couple lion corpses and looted the corpses and grabbed the hides and made lion fang talismans out of them. Very good equipment. But yeah, in general, you can give him things from the savannah. He'll make them equipment for you dirt cheap. And then what I've been doing is going back into Avendar and selling them. That is how we have this, which is an emerald dragon scale helmet, as well as, where is it? A set of emerald dragon scale sleeves. We purchased those for quite a bit of platinum, I think 3 or 4 total platinum, and we found them in a store, and I was like, hey, these look good. So we bought them and equipped them. They boosted our defense. We also bought a dagger without a hilt, which has a very much higher damage roll. And we kept our copper dagger as a memento. I just couldn't bear to part with it. We've kept it for so long. So anyway, that is everything. I'm going to take a quick pause right there, because that was a lot to go over, and I promise when we get back, we're going to go start adventuring again. Okay, first things first, we're going to do something that I've been in my head calling the circuit. It's a little bit silly. Looks like we're a bit hungry here. We'll eat a haunch of gazelle. Kalaris has been living at large, eating the haunches of gazelles quite a bit lately. The circuit. Now, if you take a look at our score here, we need about 4,000 EXP for the next level. At the beginning of each of these new levels, it's been about 8,000 or 9,000 EXP required. Now, early on when we were in the savannah killing gazelles around level, what were we, about 16 is when I figured out we could kill gazelles if we played our cards right. We're getting quite a bit of EXP, around 400, 200 to 400, probably not 400, 200 sounds better, I think. Maybe the first one we killed was around 400, but about 200 on average. That's quite a bit of EXP, but it was quite a lot of effort to kill them, and frankly, a little bit dangerous, because we were still at a point in the game when they could kill us. Now, if you remember, if you harvest things, you get 25 EXP. There are 6 things up here to harvest for 150. So right off the bat, you can harvest 6 things to get 150 EXP, which is almost as much as a gazelle was, and a lot faster and a lot less dangerous. And I was like, what are we doing? Why don't we just come up here and harvest things? I mean, we kind of already knew we could do that, right? But there wasn't a whole lot else to do up here until I realized there's all of these quests. So over here is a girl who will ask for a quest to get some spool from the basement. There are also 2 crates down here in the basement that we can harvest for an additional 25 EXP. When we finish this girl's quest, she gives us 100, so we're already up to 300 EXP. Now this person here has that quest that we figured out, where if we travel to Core Thrandir, we're going to grab 500 EXP, so now we're up to 800 EXP. Now there are 2 things in the forest, right here and here, 2 bushes that we can harvest for an additional 25 EXP. So we're up to 850 EXP. Along the way, if we choose to travel through the Jasa Lake, if you remember, there are the 4 zebra clusters over here, each worth 25 EXP. So now we're up to 950. Also, we have the option of coming here and doing the beekeeper quest. Again, it is repeatable for 10 silver. I used to do that, but unfortunately 10 silver just really isn't worth it anymore now. So I've stopped doing that as part of the circuit. But that's fine. That was an option for us for a while. Then we come up here, we go into the Brintor, and there's a lady here who wants you to pull out some ivy for another, I want to say 250 EXP. So now we're up to 1,100. There's also a bush here for 25 EXP, so 1,025. Last but not least, we come up to Core Threndir, and there's a peach tree we can harvest for another 25 EXP. All things considered, that's 1,150 EXP. And this circuit, so to say, is repeatable. So, yeah, even now, because killing gazelles gives us about 50 to 100 EXP, still, this circuit is probably the fastest way to obtain EXP that I've discovered. And we will continue to make use of it until we have a reason not to. 1,150 is still kind of low. We're getting to the point, especially I'm sure the next level will be around 10,000, that we'd have to do this 10 times before we gain a level, but it's a nice break from just grinding against monsters over and over again. So, and the reason I explained all that before I did it is because we're going to be doing it very quickly. And the reason for that is we're just going to queue it all up at once. And this is partially why I love the queue system. So we're going to begin the Spool Girls quest. Go down into the basement. Harvest the first crate. Harvest the second crate. Take the spool. Oh shoot. I might have gotten that wrong. Go out of the basement, complete the spool quest. We're going to drop all our flour, destroy the flour so it's not taking up space. Drop all our cabbage, destroy cabbage, and drop all our carrots. Destroy carrots. And when we end, we should now have completed all of these things in the monastery. And I'll back up here just to make sure I didn't mess something up. We should have completed... Yep. So we went ahead and gave the spool to the girl in the monastery. She's like a seamstress. And it keeps increasing our ranking with the monastery, which is kind of a neat side effect. I don't know what ranking does, but we probably have a lot of it. Now here we'll harvest the wild strawberries, and we'll harvest the blackberries. Oh, I did something wrong. And we'll find ourselves in the Jossa Lake now. Oh, what's going on now? Admittedly, I'm usually not trying to talk while I do this, so I am making quite a few more mistakes than I normally make. And we'll just do the same thing here, where we harvest the zebras. We'll drop all the zebra muscles and destroy them because I hate it when there's clutter. And when we end, we should be up near the middle section between the Jossa Lake and the Lifelink Freehold. We're going to skip doing the beekeeper quest. No need to do that. There's a lot of northward movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A westward movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the north again. And then we should be able to find... Now, the lady who gives this poison ivy quest, she wanders around, so you kind of have to look for her. Wow, I've never had her be so far out. Normally she's right around that area. Here we go. So we'll begin her quest. And what she does is she asks us to pull out some ivy because travelers have brought it into the forest and it's choking out the trees. We'll come over here and harvest this bush. Now, the ivy can be in a random location, but it's usually somewhere near this bush. Oh, here it is. So we'll get the ivy. And then we'll complete her quest. And there we go. She thanks us. And eventually there will be more ivy that needs pulled out. And that's what makes that quest repeatable. Did we get these? Yes? Yet? No, okay. Or yes, we did. And now, with only 130 movement left, we're going to cast Wing again. Oh, we're already airborne. We're going to make the final leg of the journey up into the mountains of Korthrandir. I love saying that. And we should be somewhere near the middle of the fort at this point, after all that movement comes through. Come up here, harvest the tree, grab a peach. Give the letter to the scholar. That completes that. We'll recall back. It costs half our movement. Oh, that's something I forgot to go over. Recalling, I didn't realize, costs half your movement, so it's advantageous to use it while you have very little movement to begin with. Also, when we cast Warmth, I've never been using it right while on camera. What you have to do is you have to cast Warmth, and then you type in Sleep Sign, because you're sleeping at the sign of Warmth, and that's what grants you the mana regeneration, which makes the mana come back way faster. Oh! Looks like someone's destroyed all of the fruit we had left here. I had been coming through here and leaving. I'd been dropping all the fruit that we get from doing this circuit. So I'm going to drop the peach, drop the wild, and drop the blueberries. We'll eat one of the berries. Sort of just kind of a joke in my head, as Talaris would imagine him trying to attract pigeons, since even now, even in our point of stability in this game, I still enjoy coming here and killing the pigeons at the fountain, reminding us of our very humble origins. Alright. And now we just have to make our way back to the monastery. Oh, here's something else that's interesting. The mapping is kind of connected in a goofy way. So it might be faster at some point to get to the Forest of Nendor like this. Now you will see I have fully mapped out Varbandor now. We weren't really missing anything exciting. There was just some random bits of the river on this side of it, and that's all it is. There were no quests or anything or new areas. However, strangely, if you follow the river down like this, you pop up in the Forest of Nendor. Yeah. I don't know another way to say it. You just are suddenly in the Forest of Nendor, which is interesting. And I went a little too far we'll complete that quest, and there we are, 1,150 EXP. Probably there are much better ways to grind EXP in this game. However, because I was essentially sick, injured, and just lying in a chair, I found this to be a very pleasant way to just sort of do some quick typing, not have to worry about combat, and yeah, just acquire EXP in a non-violent fashion, which I thought was neat. However, let's get into the real adventuring. So as I said, I have yet to explore new areas, save that bit of the savannah that I mapped out because I knew that we had already kind of been there. I didn't feel too bad about that. However, I have been dying to go into this place that is apparently called Chaja Caves. People have been telling me to go here since I started playing the game. And I don't know why. Apparently the monsters here are weak to fire magic. But I didn't even know these were the Chaja Caves when we bumped into Kierlan here, and he kind of scared us off, and we ended up not coming here, which is a little bit disappointing. So we're going to go here. We're going to go into the Chaja Caves. We're finally going to figure out what the heck this place is, and I'm really excited to be here. We're probably over-leveled for this point of the game. I don't know if I care necessarily. I'm just really excited to go somewhere new. So this is what we will adventure in, at least for the beginning of today. It is unmapped, so we will need to map it. I feel like we should probably write this as a new area. So I'm going to start mapping Chaja Caves. Like that. We'll make sure that fit correctly. Okay, and again, you see here the new rooms are being created in blue. I'm going to go ahead and... Well, there's no way I've figured out to change that. I can't figure out how to change the default. Do you guys see the menu when it comes up? No, you don't see the menu. But there's a color menu, and the red was the first color listed. And now this blue color isn't even listed. I don't know where it's coming from, so whatever, right? Anyway, it just means that we'll have an easy method of telling new areas that we've been in for the recording, and then probably between recordings I'll convert them back to red. Wait, there is this snail. We fought one of these snails already. And I remember we had even gotten some EXP from it, which I thought was funny. I guess I should just use these buttons. I doubt we'll be getting EXP from the snails now at our current station of level 23, but, or are we 24? Can't remember. 23. But it will, I think, be beneficial to just kind of consider these things to see where we kind of stack up as far as our power level here. Yeah, it says we could kill the snail without any trouble. We'll consider the cave bat. Yeah, it seems like these enemies are very weak. I want to kill one of these bats just to see if they drop anything. Yeah. Beam of fire sunders. I've seen some pretty crazy things like potent and deadly and all in caps and stuff. I'm not really sure how it determines what damage you're doing or what those terms mean, but it seemed good. Okay, so the bat doesn't seem to drop anything. Peering north, we see a bunch of miners, actually. Those were the miners that Kierlan attacked. Cave bat passed through. Stretch of cave is crowded with mining equipment. Bedrolls for several men, provisions, various clutter. Apparently this is the temporary camp of a mining party. Further evidence lies in a mine shaft sunk into the west wall of the cave. 3 minecarts partially filled with ore. Can we harvest this? A leader of the mining expedition supervises his men's progress. A burly miner, hardened by years of work, digs tirelessly at the cave wall. A miner bends to his work, carving away at the wall. I'm gonna see if we can maybe harvest these mining cards. Oh, you gather a chunk of ore from the mining cart. You receive 25 EXP. I assume Talaris is on good terms with the miners or something for not wanting to kill them, or perhaps they're just so busy that a single chunk of ore is not something they will miss. What is this chunk of ore? You can sell it, extract it. It weighs a lot. Its type is treasure. What's our weight here? Are we weighed down? Our weight is 113. Oh, however, we can carry 393. We're fine. Okay, so we'll leave the miners alone. We'll keep going around here. We're still in a mining camp. It looks like we can continue to harvest this ore, so we might as well. Harvest, cart. I do think it's a little bit funny that the miners don't seem to care. But then again, the monastery didn't care that we were working their, what was it? Garden. Of course, the garden makes a little more sense because it's a monastery. They probably, their business is charity. Now, what's this black beetle? Emits a loud clicking noise, warning you away. What? Let's look at this beetle. Measuring about 4... Is that inches or feet? Hold on. Can never remember which is which. Oh gosh, that's feet. That's like a beetle that's as long as a human. A short human. The beetle scurries along the cave floor. It's in excellent condition. Black beetle leaves. Oh, hey. We were looking at you. Guess we'll continue to go find it. Look, beetle. Oh, it's not here. Where'd it go? Did it go north? Yes, 3 squares away. Oh, Elsendar is here. We'll say, El, you made it. Alright, so Elle and I will probably team up here. The Chaja in this cave dislike me. Wait. I don't actually know what a Chaja is. So today we'll probably be adventuring with Elle since she made it here. We'll wait on the response here to see what he says, or she says back. Tall, pale fellows. The ones in this cave have been fighting with the miners here. We'll say that's no good. The miners aren't hurting anything. And then we'll say, if you lead us to them, I gladly help you stop them. Oh, am I reading what Elsendar is saying? Oh yeah, I have been. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not reading this just in my head. So I'm going to turn mapping off, and the reason for that is because I'm sure it would be a nightmare to help, to try and help, or to try and map while we're helping Elsendar. And so we're going to do this blind. We're going to say something like, we're unfamiliar with this area. So we'll have to rely on your guidance. Oh, and she has armor and shield as well. Okay, so let's throw down some buffs here. We'll do wings, armor, shield, flame, or mover dagger. Add her dagger, cast rune on it. Infravision, detect. We'll also cast inflame on L. I hope that works. Will L... Oh, we lost her concentration. Let's try that again. Cast inflame on L. Sindar. There's... Wait, what? Inflame Elsendar. Ah, there we go. I don't think there's anything. Oh, right. I keep forgetting. L is a Aelin, so she's got wings. Are there any other spells I can give? I can give L? Frenzy? I don't... I doubt Frenzy would be much use for her. In fact, that might be a good way to upset her. The Chaja are often in this area. There's a group to the southwest, but I don't think I'm strong enough to defeat them yet. Perhaps we should peer in that area to see how many. Shoot, did I read L's out loud again? I think I did. I'm so sorry. It's difficult to... Oh wow, that is a lot of Chaja. We'll say, whoa, that's a lot of them. What? Oh. Wait, seriously? Hold on. She says, what do your human's eyes see? I thought it was a Lord of the Rings reference, but she also says, I do not have the magic of infravision. I didn't realize we could see. And she couldn't. We'll see if we can cast infravision on Elsendar. Ah, I keep forgetting you don't want to use... There we go. We'll say try it now. We'll also cast Detect on Elsendar. Oh, can't cast Detect on Elsendar. Okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. laugh weekly. The Sterns, I believe, are less powerful than the hunters throughout the cave. Alright, let's do this. Shudeni. The Shudeni are here. What? Oh. Oh boy. So it looks like we're getting into a fight here. I don't know what's going on here. We lost our concentration. Oh boy. What? I can't do this fast enough. Okay, maybe leader is the keyword? What? I just want to cast immolation on the leader. Oh my gosh. Okay, cast there, finally. We're in the fight. That took way too long. Whoa. Well, we got him. Okay, let's take out these Chaja. So we want to rotate we want to rotate immolation into this. Looks like we're able to kill these Chaja. Wow, they are weak to fire. Okay, we'll cast Burnout. We'll look into the area. El says, I believe these Chaja were controlled by the Shudeni. And we said, oh, you're right. We remember reading about it in the history books. All those years ago in college. I shall leave them alone unless provoked. Okay, so we're going to use the group command. Oh, we're not grouped. Wait, how does this work? Group Elsendar. It says we're following someone else. Should we report back to the miners or try to clear out the rest of the hunters? We'll say, I think we can handle the hunters, but we're a bit uncoordinated. And then we'll say, let's make sure we're fighting as a group. I can't group with her for some reason. Whoa, what's happening here? What? Chaja Hunter are okay. See, I'm not grouped with gosh darn it. I'm not grouped with L, and that's causing me not to automatically enter combat when she enters combat. Are we fighting? Oops. So we'll say, she said, we've come a long way since college. We responded, we have. Unfortunately, we're not fighting in sync. I'm going to try following myself. And then I'm going to group with Elsendar. Oh, I can't. Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to out of character tell Elsendar. We'll just tell Elle, she needs to type group Talaris, and that'll put us in a group together. Something I forgot to mention, the Chaja down here will try to disarm you. I found a scimitar that I can't put down, which avoids this, but beware of their attempts. And then we'll say... This will let us keep tabs on if Elsendar is healthy. No worries. We'll, Ed, she said, I was too busy looking for Charger to make sure we were working together. I will prove in the future. No worries. We'll get better as a team over time. Okay. Now that I know Elsendar isn't dying or something, let's refresh our buffs. And... okay. And then we'll also cast Inflame on Elsendar. Oh, she's already inflamed. Cast armor. I think she already has armor on herself. Cast infravision. Okay, it looks like we're good. Okay, and Elle is traveling, so we're good now. And we'll thank her for the advice on the disarm. Watch out for it. And then we'll say, yes, we're ready. It looks like cave lizards down here. Gray slugs? Not sure what those are. I don't see any Chaja hunters. There's a mushroom that grows here often. I'm still not sure what it's used for. Oh! We'll see. We may have some idea. We met a beastly man named Kierlin. He kept trying to give us the mushrooms. Said that they would help us if we got in trouble. We don't really know ourselves, though. One way to find out. Oh no, she ate the mushroom. Oh my goodness. And we'll just look worried but impressed. Oh no, we can't see. Looks like we lagged out. Shoot. You don't know any spells of that name. Utters the word armor. She doesn't feel different. Okay. What did we were Oh, we need to cast infravision. Just use the buttons, that's easier. Whoa! Alright. We'll cast beam. I think we're just gonna... I can't keep track of everything that's going on. We're just gonna keep casting beam. Hopefully that's enough. Woo! 500 EXP. Good gravy. That's a lot. And we'll say, Elsendar said that went impressively well. We said yes, we'd have to agree. We seem to be learning quickly from this enemy. She also says it usually takes me several minutes to finish one off. Humanoid skeleton is here. She seems like she's doing fine. She has 448 HP. Good grief. She's also level 26. She's a Water Templar. I'm assuming that's a defensive class. So it probably makes more sense to have her engage the enemy. I had an unfortunate experience with the ring this adventurer once carried. We'll look curious. Well, there's a skeleton. Let's harvest the skeleton. Can't find it. We'll search the area. Elle says she couldn't take it off. We'll say that sounds dangerous. We'll also say Kierlan had an amulet that forced him to yell all the time. It didn't help our initial impression of him. And it made me feel weaker. During one of the visits of the shrine... Hold on, I gotta hide the map. Shrine of Resurrection, I was able to be rid of it. It appears to have returned here. Will stay away from the ring then. It must be cursed. Long centipede. Pale gray lizard. Interesting. We'll make sure our buffs are here. If you haven't explored this area, do you want to lead to get a better grasp? No. No, we'll map out the area in our heads later. For now, we're content with you leading the charge. And we'll look at Elsendar and see what armor she has. Yeah, she has steel. So we'll say... You seem the better armored of us either way. A rusted scimitar, rusted iron wrist guard, copper helmet, tempered steel greaves. Actually, I don't know. She might not be. There is a third level. It's filled with face spiders, and the area is a maze of twisty passages. We'll take a rope. I haven't tried to venture down there for several years. We might be able to handle them, but it could be dangerous. Well, I was going to say we tie a rope between us. This should help us keep from getting lost. As long as we stick together, I'm sure we can manage. Elsendar smirks at their head. So the Chaja is shouting in Chajanese. Again, we're going to open up with Immolation and then switch over to Beam. Healing power. Wait. L can heal? What? L is apparently healing us. No wonder she has full health. Cure critical. We're keeping on dumping our MP into casting Beam of Fire here. There we go. Killed the hunter. Is L okay? She had to cast Cure Critical. She seems okay. But we seem like we're doing fine. In fact, I'm going to gain a level, or Talaris is going to gain a level here really quickly if we do another one of those. I tried to ensure they were attacking me, but I wasn't able to check. Do they often attack you? We'll say, no, not at all. We're fine for the most part. However, there is a limit to how long we can maintain a stream of fire, which is our only concern. Yeah, that fight took us down to about half our MP. However, we're able to take out the hunters fairly easily, so I think we're going to be okay. It seems like Elle can heal herself. Okay, next level is just ahead. I'm planning on fleeing if the phase spiders proves to be not too much. Hopefully we'll be able to get back here if we get lost. We'll nod. So if Talaris has to, or if L has to flee, we'll go ahead and flee as well. I believe we can rest here for a moment to regain our strength. We'll say excellent. Looks sheepish. And we'll say feel free to sleep at the fire. And we'll cast warmth. Oops. Lost her concentration. That's embarrassing. Your help means I don't actually need to rest for the moment, so I'll keep watch. And we'll sleep at the sign, and we'll regain our MP. We're kind of like a very swingy battery. You know, now that we actually have two party members working together, we can play this a little bit more like a strategical RPG. Elsendar essentially is the tank of our group, especially since she's in control of the healing magic, and is, I'm assuming, able to heal herself quite proficiently, it seems. She has Cure Serious, Cure Critical, or something like that. And then we're the DPS, which is the classic duo, right? You have your tank healer, off healer, and then you have your DPS who stands behind the tank. So I think perhaps, you know, that's how we should play it. I feel bad. I don't want to just stick Elsendar in front of Talaris and be like, okay, be our meat shield. But I think it's probably, mechanically speaking, like, what's best for us in this situation. And we'll stand up and say we are ready. She says infravision is remarkably useful down here. We'll say it is. We've taken it for granted. Let us know whenever you need it again. And we'll throw down our buffs. And we'll also cast Inflame on Elsendar. And cast Infravision on Elsendar. Okay. And we're ready. It's a lot of EXP. 2 exploration points and 4 EXP. Nothing. No dangers around this area. A web-filled maze. This seems dangerous. Oh no. Are we not following L anymore? Shoot. I have a partial map of this area, but finding my way around is almost... Wait, are we looking into our own back? Because it said she was 2 squares south, but we're still here. Wait. Oh my gosh, it's a hypercube. It's a hypercube scenario. I'm standing with L, looking south, seeing L. That's funny. That's very funny. Okay, we didn't break the group, oddly. Corpse of a Chaja Hunter is here. Get all corpse. Huh. Some coins from the corpse. A yellow centipede has arrived from above. Consider centipede. Oh, there's no centipede here. We must have moved out. A lot of rooms south. This is a web-filled maze. Ooh, there's a centipede here. Gosh darn it. Consider centipede. Okay, I'm just gonna wait until I see it pop up and then I'm gonna immediately hit enter. I want to see if these centipedes are dangerous. Perhaps they are asleep? It is true. I have not seen any. Nothing north. It's doing the hypercube thing again. We're seeing Elsendar 2 squares to the north. However, we're standing with Elsendar. We're gonna say, L says this is most strange. we'll also... she says, I can see you up to the north. And we'll say, we had noticed the same for you. At college, one of the wacky professors... Oh, we lost wings and invisible. Or, infravision, rather. At college, one of the wacky professors mentioned a theory of this. She also says, and yet the twists and turns mean we can no longer go north here. A hyper box? Hyper... We'll just say hyperbox. We won't say hypercube. Phase spiders have some strange magic indeed. Okay, well there's no spiders here, interestingly. Which is a-okay with me. There must there must be some in the sewers of Irondam. Or the builders were. Yeah, those sewers in Irondam are just terrible. She says she hasn't been here before. And interestingly, there really aren't any monsters. I'm peering around us, and I'm not seeing anything. We're still in a web-filled maze. We should probably refresh our buffs. We keep entering new areas, and preemptively I'm going to add this to our map prompt. Map ignore. There we go. That way, if we come down here and explore ourselves and find a new room, this won't cause problems for us. Oh, new area. Just trying to make sure we keep the buffs up. I'm sad to say that I'm lost. We're off my map. Perhaps Allele will guide us. What? So anyway, it looks like Elsendar just created food and water. You can create food and water? She just gave us a cake. Where? I think it went in our inventory. Where is it? A chunk of... Am I not seeing it? A pair of chainmail... Pelt of... I'm not seeing it in our inventory. I thought she said... Elsendar gets... Oh, no, she didn't give it to us. Okay. I can. Part of my desire to become a Templar was the ability to travel long and far, sustaining themselves with only their might and magic. I'm gonna make a dumb joke here. Might and magic. The phrase has a ring to it. Apparently we picked up a pair of chainmail leggings somewhere along the way. A foolish idea occurs to me. If I start putting food along the passages, we'll be able to tell where we have been. Oh, that was something I forgot to mention. In order to map the plains, that was something I did, as well as Varbandor, the docks. I was dropping fishing spears to figure out where he was. We'll say, yes, we've done something similar. With canoes, though. Avendar says, canoes? Will look a bit awkward. We'll say yes, Kierlin kept giving them to us, but they were so hard to carry. Okay, this is where we rested for. Before she says, we'll nod. Okay, let's consider these chainmail leggings. My mind just conjured the strangest image. Or not consider. So north is a dead end. I wouldn't know, mostly because I have no idea where we are even to begin with, as is south. So I haven't been able to cast Infravision on Avendar. And I imagine it's because she has Infravision herself. Or something. I'm not really sure what's going on. She says, but going north and then south is not. We'll try to follow the logic of thought, but gets lost halfway. Oh, new area. Oh, spider. Oh, jeez. That spider just, like, crazy murdered us. Ah, no, we died. Oh, no. Oh, we have no clue where we were. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. We'll have to sleep here. We're back at the altar. And we'll do an OOC on Avendar. Actually, we'll do G-Tail. Or, is that how it works? Group tail? I think, or, how do you do chats in a group? Group follow. How do you do group talk? Is it GT? We'll say, whoa, those spiders are powerful. L says, well, that could have gone better. Out of character. We'll see. I have no idea how I'm going to get back to my corpse. Oh no. Thought 10 levels would be enough. Apparently not. Yeah, those spiders were brutal. Okay, So let's go ahead and wake. We'll look around. We'll try and go back and see if maybe we can get back and grab our stuff. Maybe? It's just going to be really hard. Wait, what's going on here? Can't we go... Oops. Okay, we're gonna follow Avendar. I'll follow you, my ghostly friend. She says, perhaps we weren't ready, and we'll say, indeed, such is life, we suppose. I'm not really sure how to find our corpse. Oh, we're moving like all over the place. Okay, where did we die? I think we do corpse where? Oh, but we can't see. Because everything is dark. Oh, the corpse of Avendar is here. Well, that's good. I mean, well, that's not good, but... I'll have to, I'm not really sure how to figure this out. Like, what do we... How do we find our corpse? How did Elle find her corpse so fast? I was only a step or two away from you. Let's see. Corpse of a large worm. Corpse of Avendar. Corpse of Talaris. Here we go. Let's say... Ah! Here we are. Always a bit unsettling seeing yourself. And we'll do get corpse all. Oops. Get all corpse. And we'll let that run through a bit. So many ground squirrel pelts. Okay, so we'll wear all, and oops, we need to clear the buffer. We'll wear all, and then we'll remove the vorpal. We'll wear hilts, or the dagger without the hilts. Wear lion fang, and I think that's it. Wear skirt of meshed steel. Wear mantle. Okay, I think we're good. Maybe. Thin ring, emerald. Yes. And then we'll say, well, see you on the other side. And we'll recall. Oh, looks like L had already recalled. We just said that to no one. We'll go ahead and resurrect. We'll shake it off. Follow Avendar. Cast burnout. Refresh our buffs. Refresh Elsendar's buffs. We lost our concentration. Weren't able to put the rune down. I feel like we're losing our concentration quite a bit lately. Where would you like to venture next? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I guess we could go explore the savannah. Or, what about the place with the castle? We could say, actually, I have some contracts on some bandits if you're interested. Contracts? Sure. Who gave you the contract? Oh, for some reason we didn't say that. Unless the game is just lagging. I think the game was just lagging a little bit. There's a mercenary company in the city. Oh. Would you mind leading me to them? At least we'll know where we are in here. Oh. This is a mercenary? We'll say, oh, we've met before, but this office had completely slipped my mind. Say yes. Alright, I'd have a bounty you'd like to collect. Let's add some color to the map here so we remember this exists. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You may have heard, but there's a group of Siren Reavers in the northern forest. These Reavers have been setting upon caravans taking the Irindam road between Korthrander and Irindam. They are led by a fierce Siren known as Nithennek, and the powers that be have put a price on his scalp. Now, finding him is the trick. His encampment is said to be to the north of the forest, between Irindam and the Brentor Road. There is a dangerous marsh there as well, full of vicious snakes. Probably best to avoid it, but if you are near it, you are also near the camp. He won't be alone, so it's probably a good idea to get the help of other adventurers. When you have the scalp, bring it to me. Keep in mind, you want guild experience out of this. You should complete this before 31st rank. Good luck. I'm going to turn pale here because we've been there. I scouted out the camp, but had a nasty run-in with one of the bandits before I could find help. I will say, same with us. And the snakes. We'll say they might be out of our league. But couldn't be stronger. Why did it have to be snakes? But couldn't be stronger than those spiders. At least it took them a few moments before slaying me in a past life. Certainly not. I was able to hold out against 3 of them before succumbing. Well, is what Avendar said. And we'll reply, well, sounds like we might stand a chance with the 2 of us then. I know the way, so feel free to lead. Oops, I need wings. We'll say, sorry, forgot my wings. I suppose Aelin still has some advantage, is what Avendar replied. So we're traveling through the Aelin Plains, and we're gonna arrive somewhere in the northeastern section of the passage, the forest between the Brintors, that place where we did the quest for the Caladaran woman. Okay. We'll have to be prepared here. We'll say the passage, we'll say the path forks to the left. That's where the snakes are, if I recall. And then we'll say their camp is to the right. Okay. Alright, I think we're ready. Oh wait, let's cast Inflame on L. Oh, she's already inflamed. Alright. We'll get ready to just cast Immolation and then follow it up with Beam of Fire. Simple plan, but seems to be effective. We don't really have any AoE otherwise, or at least no AoE that would kill us, right? Because, wait, where are we? Okay. Oh, this isn't where I thought we were. Okay, so I cast Immolation. Oh, shoot. We're gonna have to flee. I didn't realize. Oh, gosh. Ah! They do attack us. Well, we managed to kill one of them, at least. Looks like we died. Okay, so we died because apparently the enemies can attack us. And that's fine. Yeah, that was my mistake. We'll let one more tick pass, and then I'll go grab our stuff again. L apologizes that we died right after finishing the contract. We'll say no worries. I should have fleed. Which I tried to do, but didn't do it quick enough and got a little greedy in hopes of finishing. I didn't realize that was where the bandits were, because there's also this section to the north where there are more bandits. And I thought that's where we were going, which was confusing me. Not that I think I still would have died, even if I had realized that we were getting into a fight right there, but shoot, where are we? Oops. Here we go. Oh, L said something here. I have healing magic. Let's see here. I just didn't get it off soon enough and forgot I could heal you. There's some weird lag during combat for me. We'll just reply. Yeah. We're also figuring out group mechanics for the first time. Okay. Yeah, because I'd run into these bandits here, so essentially, I'll point it out on the map here. Elsendar's here. Get corpse all. Oops. Get all corpse. Okay, so while we're picking all that up, there are two bandits here in these two squares, but I thought we were coming up here, and the snakes are like right here, and the rest of the Siren bandits are here. I don't know why there were two bandits down here, but they definitely have been there for a while. It's possible to lure mobs out of an area. Oops. L says, I hate saying it, but I have no way of knowing if that was the right group. I got a skull or two, but I didn't see that any were named the right thing. I will respond, I don't think it was, because there is a group north. We'll do it with G-Tel. I don't believe it was... I don't believe it was the correct group since, or we'll say we, since we're saying this in character. We don't believe it was the correct group since the main camp is up north. And we'll let him know, or let her know, you can use GT for group talk. Also, it looks like when I picked up my gold, I accidentally shared 5 gold with Elsendar, but I don't. I'll let L figure out how to give that back. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see here. I only know of a hunting camp back a ways to the north. And we'll say that's the one. It's full of Siren that attack on sight. One moment. Off to the world of the living. Okay, so we're human again. We're going to drop the Vorpal necklace. We're going to use the Wear All command. We're going to take, or rather get, the Vorpal necklace. Get Vorpal? Okay. We'll wear... Oh, we have the skull of a bandit. Odd. We need to wear the hilt. Wear the skirt. Wear the mantle. That should be everything. Okay. We cast Burnout. A vagrant has arrived from the south. Go ahead and throw down all our spells here. And we'll travel back to where Elsendar is. And then from there, we'll probably cast Warmth and throw down the sign. Whoops. Oh, whoa. Clear, clear. Looks like I went the wrong way. That's fine. Oop, went too far. We'll use Wear to see if Elsendar is here. She's in an algae-filled pond. Hopefully she is not fighting those snakes. Oh no, she is. I told her not to go here. Okay, so the Vipers are here. We'll follow Elsendar. This in Viper, cast Beam Viper. Not much EXP. We'll sacrifice the heart to Allele. And we'll grin. And say, I suppose the Vipers are no match for you. Okay. I will say... Elsendar says amazing. I wish I were more pious. Allele is watchful for those who look. Okay. We're in Elsendar's group. I'm gonna probably... Well... Probably don't need to cast anything, or rather heal. I was gonna say we might need to top off our MP and HP. But we'll say I should. Well, are you okay with fighting 4 more Vipers? Is going around better? We'll say fighting the Vipers is probably the best way to get the drop on the bandits. We doubt they we doubt they would expect anyone to come from this direction. However, death has taken its toll on my body, or our body. So perhaps it's best to wait a day and regather our strength. Oh, for some reason, hold on. I did that wrong. Hold on. Crap, where are we? Okay, we left a little bit south. Okay. Looks like we've got... The resurrection is going to affect us for another 11.2 hours. We'll say I feel that half a day and we'll be back to normal. We'll wait here until then. Alright, so I'm going to pause there, and when we get back, 11.5 hours will have passed. Okay, so we're less shaken by our death. Go ahead and wake and look around. A thick cut of tender beef lies here, boiled to perfection. Elle did let us know that we are, or she is resistant to the Viper's poison. Which is interesting. And I think we're ready. Okay. Well, here's to a better fight. So we've cast Infravision and Inflame on Avendar. It seems that 3 Siren, this could be tough. We could always turn back and try our luck in the Brintors. Have you gotten the brains for the wacky wizard Invar Bandor? I do have a technique the masters will teach me soon, which would help in this fight. What is in the Brintors? We'll smile a little wildly. Terrible things. Walking corpses. We'll snicker a little. Follow us. We'll take you there. The Brintors are just west of here. Uh-oh. The Vipers are attacking us. Okay. We'll sacrifice the guts to Allele. Sacrifice guts, Allele. No, we're still empowered by our last sacrifice. That's my cat. So we're gonna take L. So I did this quest for like a wizard who wanted us to get brains for this. Here we go. Hello, wizard. Are you still in the nature of commissioning brains? Elle says apparently so. In my experience... Oops. Elle says apparently so. We'll say in our experience, the ghouls proved too mighty to fight directly. We whittled them down over time with flame. However, with the two of us, we may be able to overpower one at a time. I did the same with the charger. Run in, get a few hits, then rest until it felt better. We'll look reassured. Glad to know we're not the only one to have to resort to such a tactic. She also says, the charger were single-minded, so they did not regenerate in the same time. So we'll go ahead and go up to the Brintors. Well, here we are. Don't be fooled. They may look like corpses, but they are very much alive. I believe I saw that once, says Avendar. Are you ready? So I've been up here already, but apparently I forgot to map this out. So we're just gonna map this out really quickly. Uh-oh, the mapper did something goofy. Hold on. Okay. We'll say strange. The mountains seem empty today. And she says, evil never shows itself when you're looking for it. We'll also say, there's one up north. Here we go. Okay, we'll open it up, of course, with immolation, then we'll cast beam. And we'll just keep... Whoa! We'll look shocked. I didn't realize we were so powerful. How long has it been since you've been here? We'll say a year or two, but a lot has happened to cause me to grow since then. I'm still having trouble ensuring I can cast my healing magic to help you at the right time. We're gonna out of character say this. You can use group to see my stats quickly. Uh-oh. The mapper thinks that... Okay, looks like that'll help. Okay, there's a ghoul to our right. I'm trying to keep track of who is the ghoul attacking. It looked like for some reason it attacked Avendar when we moved in here. Okay. I mean, as long as Elle doesn't die, we should be fine. And she seems to be able to heal herself. We're gonna say it's strange. Wait, Avendar steps into the form of the living seas? It seems to go... They seem to go for you instead of me. Unlike the bandits. And then we'll look around. Because she turned into the form of the flying seas? Perhaps these creatures should go for the largest target, rather than bandits who recognize the bigger threat. A lot more to the north. Do you want to go back? Were you able to acquire the minds of these creatures? Wow, we definitely are a lot stronger, able to fight these ghouls without much trouble. Oh, she says I was not. And then we'll say once more into the brink then. Go ahead and fight this ghoul up here. I don't know if the giant will actually attack us. We'll sacrifice the leg to Allele. Well, look at the giant. Standing 13 feet. Giant searches for game. Many of these beasts seem to have no mind at all. Says Avendar. We'll say agreed. However, the giants seem to keep to themselves unless provoked. Let's hope that that stays true. Two of them. Care to try your luck? Okay, so our job is pretty simple here. We're just going to keep casting Beam of Fire because it just deals a ridiculous amount of damage. We opened with Immolation, but I don't even know if that's even necessary anymore because they die so quickly. We'll check, make sure to check Elsindar's stats here. Make sure she's not, like, almost dead. She seems like she's doing fine. We're gonna say our magic fades. Just a moment. We're gonna cast Warmth and Sleep here for just a moment. Believe it or not, sleeping at the sign regenerates the MP super fast. And I can't believe I wasn't using it correctly previously, which is really the reason why we were taking so long to get our MP back. Yeah, look at that. We're already up to 320. And that's just kind of, you know, the way this character is supposed to work. And that was a huge mistake I was making. Not to consider you, but the ghoul has just arrived from the north. Whoops. I'm recharged. Or we'll say we are recharged. Yeah, but you saw there in 2 ticks, we were back up to full MP. So... Oh, more ghouls apparently entered the area. Oh, well, those were like ghouls from up above. We're gonna give the heart to Elsindar. Give heart Elsindar. And then we'll P-mote. Grins mischievously. Okay, we went north. I think we gained a level at some point. Ooh, looks like Elle got an ice ghoul brain. That's good. She says a brain. I'm gonna say I'm surprised it took so long. And now, out of character, I'm gonna say I wonder if the trigger is that you have to be the one who slays the target. Oops. I meant to say that to Elsindar. I'm not sure though, because the text is flying by so fast. Yeah, Elsindar is just not even showing any signs of being in danger, so I'm really not worried about moving around here. Just as long as I have MP, we should be fine. It's possible. It could be that it only tells the one killed it what we got. Well, there's nothing up here. Yeah, the ghouls seem to go straight for Elsindar. It's weird. Whereas the bandit went straight for me. antelope. This I have to see. Huh. We'll say seems harmless. Shoot. The map got goofed. We'll have to fix that real quick. Okay, let's see here. Oh my gosh, the mapper thinks we're somewhere completely different. Hold on. What happened here? Why did it do this? I think this is the fake room. Six, 5, 4. Okay. Oh, looks like Elle's gonna get an ability that'll help with the bandits. And okay. I think we gained a level as well. Okay, hopefully this works now. Okay, I just need to add this to the ignore prompt. And then we'll be ready to go. There we go. I think that was my issue. I didn't have one of those things added to the prompt, and it was causing problems. Because it was trying to map rooms with the wrong names. The Brintors aren't too bad at this point of the game. Oh my gosh, what now? Oh, shoot. L looking in a direction messed up the... Oh my gosh. Why is all of this suddenly terrible? I feel bad, I'm probably like a terrible pilot here. Looks like a ghoul here. Hmm. It appears that... okay, so when I was fighting the ghouls earlier, because that's all we're doing here, we're just fighting a lot of ghouls. When I was fighting the ghouls earlier, it didn't seem like... All I had to do was kill 2 of them, and I got the brain. I believe I'm ready to learn the technique. I think it might help in our efforts against the bandits. And we'll say, excellent. Let's part ways and head for our guilds. And meet back up. Oh, and he got the second brain. Also, we're not mapping, and I think Elle forgot we can just teleport back. So I think she's walking around, and for some reason we're following her. So I just need to follow myself. Yeah, because we were still following, what's his, L. Although I don't know where we are. Kind of lost. And I guess we found where the ghouls went. Says L. I just don't understand. I'm lost because the mapper isn't working and I'm a blind fool without it. Looks like we can go down. I almost feel like we need a recall or something, but... Oh shoot, we got an exploration point. That's not good. Maybe we're not somewhere that's on the map. We'll take this arm of an ice school and eat the arm. I think that's funny. There's another ice school here. Maybe if we go far enough, we'll eventually get somewhere that puts us on the map. Ah, excellent. Okay, we're on the map here. Okay. So ice schools are no longer a contender, really, which is surprising. I guess we are a fire scholar, so we're probably pretty effective against them. We gained quite a bit of EXP out there running around with L. We gained a level. We do now have the ability to cast Locate Object, which we will learn at the guild, which is exciting. My apologies for trying to map an area out as we were also adventuring. I really wasn't sure where we were or what we should be expecting. But it didn't seem to go too bad. Looks like our movement is kind of low, probably because we didn't have those wings. But it's fine, we'll get a moment to rest when we get back into town. All in all, I think that was kind of successful. I'm a little worried that when we go fight the bandits... See, they really need to target L. We just do not have the ability to tank at all. I mean, we're not the worst at it, but... Or rather, we don't die immediately. Like, we died immediately against those... what were they? The spiders? Where is our guild? I never remember where our guild is. It's like south? Here it is. It's right here. Okay, Guild Mistress Jaharsi. She's the one who really seems to know, be able to teach all the spells and abilities to us. I went to one of the guilds in Erindam, and they weren't able to teach me some of the skills, which I found to be interesting. Like, I don't think they were able to teach us Beam of Fire. Of course, I might have been just typing something in wrong. We'll go ahead and practice locate object. And we'll check what our percentage is. Locate object, 69%, pretty high. So let's test this out. Let's cast locate object. And do what? Like a cat? Nothing like that in heaven or earth. Okay. How about a berry? Well, it's using our MP. But something we know exists. Let's try... well, it has to be an object, so I guess cat wouldn't work. Okay, so there's blueberries here. Let's go over here into this warehouse, and we'll cast locate object blueberries. What? Maybe it's because we have object here. Maybe we just locate blueberries. Interesting. Let's get the help file on this. Find all items in the world identified by a given keyword or keywords. It cannot find objects of a higher level than the casters. Huh. I don't think blueberries are a higher level than us. Let's take these blueberries and identify them. It is a level 1 item. We'll drop the berries. Cast locate berries. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow, this is cool. A handful of wild blackberries is carried by a Svil. Oh, right. Okay, so I totally forgot to read this today. Today, on the Avendar page, there are currently 3 characters adventuring right now, average level 33. We know 2 of them are Elsendar and us. Apparently the last one is this character, Civil. Civil has reached level 50 in her guild. Okay, so that's really high. Talaris has died recently. Awkward. And the plains of Riarl are in the tundra far to the north beyond the Brintor Mountains. Hey, we were in the Brintor Mountains. So apparently there are plains of the Riarl in the tundra far to the north. Now, locating these objects is very interesting because it lets us know that Civil is in the game right now, walking around somewhere, and she has a crap ton of blackberries. A lot of blackberries. And then there's blackberries in a game trail, dewberries in a path, a blueberry bush next to a waterfall, and then a pouch of mixed berries is held by an Ethron shopkeeper. That's funny. This is a super cool spell. I'm gonna have to definitely play around with it and see what else we can do. What other mischief we can get into. Oh, is L here? We'll say hello back. And we will smile mischievously. I can't spell mischievously, apparently. Oops. I have learned a spell that allows me to find objects. Sorry, oh. Elle was trying to figure out how the group commands work. Okay, I think she's following us, so we'll go ahead and supposedly it will allow me to almost have the damage we take. Wait, what? I've learned Sanctuary. Oh. We'll just say that's fantastically impressive. Far better than the cantrip they taught me at my guild. Only for a short while, unfortunately, and the cost is high. Ah, that makes sense, we'll reply. I was able to search for blackberries. Strangely, I found someone wandering the world named Civil carries a large quantity of them. At any rate, we're off. I've heard of Civil. I believe he is a hero of some renown. Oh, I didn't believe it was a guy. I guess that's true. It doesn't really say... It just says their guild. It doesn't say her guild. I guess Civil could be a guy. We'll say indeed. If you like, I could clear out the Vipers and sneak up on the bandits. Yes. I believe that would be the best. I'll follow your lead, especially since we'll need to rely on your sanctuary. Okay. I think I'm ready. There's a lot of vipers in that swamp. I'd recommend staying here. Oh. Their poison doesn't seem to affect me. Alright, we'll let Elle handle the vipers then. You hear something's death cry. That's hopefully these assuredly the vipers. Avendar the alien is flying here, fighting a swamp viper. One would wonder how the vipers even reach a flying alien. Looks like another death cry. Alright, do we have anything here that we need to be concerned about? We have a milky potion. We need to remember to drink that if we ever get into trouble. Okay, we have 6,000 EXP to the next level. I don't know if we learned anything amazing on the next level. I don't think we do. We just learn recall or whatever, word of recall. Which is just going to be the replacement for when we how to put it? When we lose our ability to just recall normally. And we'll look at L's handiwork. Okay, so to the east, L is still fighting the Vipers. We have 2 large sirens and another large... Oh, wow. Okay, 2 squares to the east, 3 squares to the east. The leader, Nithenic, is over there. Wow, that's a lot of siren. It's almost like we should wait, I feel like, until they disperse a little bit. Still, though, 4 of them. Quite a few. Oh. Apparently we didn't get a bonus for sacrificing the swamp viper brains to Allele. She wasn't a big fan of that. We'll say there are 4 of them to the east. The bandit captain among them. Not sure how to handle this. This 4 seems like so many. Okay, I can cast Sanctuary before I go in. Once we do, we'll have to go before it fades. I'll let you lead then, since it's dependent on your timing. And she asks if we're ready. We'll say 1 moment. Make sure we've got everything here. And then we'll say ready. Alright guys, here we go. Okay, we're surrounded by a white aura. We're gonna have to be quick. Okay. We're also going to have to keep track of our spells and clear our buffer if we need to leave. Sanctuary seems to really be helping us here. Okay, we killed one of the Reavers. Oh no, I think we didn't follow... Oh shoot. We didn't follow, or something is going on. We're not immediately entering the combat, and that name is really hard to spell. We failed to reach our opponent in the fray. Wait, what's going on? I don't understand. Why aren't we helping? Oh gosh, we're not in the group. NTHENHK. I don't understand why that was, like, not happening. I think we're fighting? I think we're... Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we killed it. So we did it. We'll say your sanctuary is quite powerful. She asks if we want to return. We'll say sounds good to us. I was finally able to get some healing magics to work as well. And I'll say, yes, I didn't find myself to be in any danger thanks to you. There's some text up here. A thick cut of... Oh. Some meat, I think. Avendar left or something. Oh, I'll have to cast wings. Okay, we are down here. Your gouts of flame were surprising but effective. We'll say it was difficult to... that's fine. We're moving too much for it to matter. Alright, we're in the mercenary office. I don't know how to complete this. Avendar gives the heart of Nathantic to the Ethron mercenary. The vagrant has arrived to the north. Oh no! I don't know if it counts that we did the quest because we didn't have the heart. Awkward. We got a small rabbit hide pouch and an iron scaled breastplate and a Siren scalp. I'm not actually sure what to do. Oh no. Shoot. I know the feeling. Oops. Death Run Mercenaries, I already told. Ah! Okay. Oh, his scalp. Wait a minute, wait. I have a... Don't I have a scalp? I have a Siren scalp. Wait, I think I do. Elle asked if we had the scalp. Wait, why didn't that work? The OSC didn't work. Maybe the comma messed it up. I will just say... Ah, okay. Here we go. Good work. Let me get you your payment. Hopefully that will put the fear in these scaly brutes. Now, I don't have any work for you, but if you are looking... The Pizik the wizard might know something about experiments. Also, if you don't mind shadier work, there are those looking to hire in the thief hideouts under Irendam. Krillin has a bounty on giant scalps too. See Lieutenant Rittel about the fortress. Good luck, eh? And then we'll say... L asked if we got EXP and money for that, and we will say... unfortunately not. But that's fine. I think I might have messed up the group mechanics when I refollowed you. You can give... So, he's asking how to split gold. We'll say, I think you can do... Let's see, help coin. I think you can do give X... That's my thoughts as well. Oh gosh, I gotta stop putting commas here. So he's wondering if it's because we weren't in a group, and it's probably that's it. We'll just say no worries. Keep the gold. Or not. I can do the quest again sometime. I will need to give 5 of that back. Give 5 gold, Elsendar. I don't think either of us could have done it alone, though. He keeps giving me the gold back. And that's only half. Oh my gosh, typing in OC Elsendar is so much of a pain. But I have until level 30 to do it. Oh well. Okay, anyway. I'm not going to tell Elsendar this, but technically when I looted my corpse, I accidentally gave half of the money from my corpse to him. And he never gave the money back. So even though El thinks she just gave me 10 gold, she actually only gave me 5 gold since she owed me the 5 anyway. So that'll be our little secret until Elle watches this video anyway. Anyway. Elle is excited because Pizik gives you 6,000 EXP. So in character, we'll say, well, Avendar, traveling with you has been a pleasure. Tell her it's been good to adventure. I hope to see you again. I will say agree. Ah, we'll quit there. Wow, 3 hours and 50 minutes. Quite a long session today. So that was pretty fun. Getting to do the group mechanics, we got to see how characters interact with each other, how kits mesh together. The whole the Water Templar class that Avendar is playing is very much a tanky healing class, and then of course the Fire Scholar is very much a DPS, you know, just raw damage class, and those two, you know, historically those kinds of classes fit together really well, and I think they did today. I think that was a lot of fun. I think that was really cool. We got to go up into the mountains, we slew a bunch of ice ghouls, we got into the bandit camp. We did get killed by those spiders early on, but perhaps those are just far too high of a level for us at this point in time. I will go back into the Chaja Caves probably a little bit, or maybe we'll go there next time we play. I'm not sure. I'll probably do a little bit of touch up on the maps and whatnot. I don't really see us doing a lot more as far as like, how to put it, or in between. I don't see us gaining like a level, or more than one level anyway, but I'm babbling at this point. Thank you for watching. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you. We got to see some multiplayer action today, which was nice, and hope you have a good week. So see you on the next one.